Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Looking forward to jumping into another Q&A. So, a lot of good questions. I'll jump right into it. First question, I am taking off for a week-long trip. I'm going to be with people who don't track their food and are not mindful around their nutrition. Is it okay to not track? Great question. Yes, it is absolutely okay to not track. You're on vacation. That is a perfect time to step back and enjoy yourself. The other thing is the benefit that you have from tracking for so long is now you have the ability to be intuitive with how you're eating. So you're able to view certain foods as, okay, that's going to help me still accomplish my goals. That being said, nobody accomplished their goals in 1 week. Nobody completely lost all their progress in 1 week either. So I think the mental side of this is understand that taking a week and enjoying yourself is going to, in the long run, probably pay dividends over feeling like you have to limit yourself and be super restrictive. My son was told to work on his core strength. What should he do? I need a little more context on this question. Why does he need to work on his core strength, and for what? Where is that coming from? But in terms of just addressing core strength, if you view the way you train core strength in terms of anti-movements, so anti-flexion, anti-extension, anti-lateral, lateral flexion or side bending, anti-extension would be, doing like dead bugs, rollouts, anything that makes you want to arch your back, and you're working on basically maintaining that midline position and not letting yourself succumb to arching. Anti-rotation is another one, which would be like Palloff presses, anything where a stimulus is trying to rotate your body and you're staying stationary and not letting the force rotate you. And then anti-lateral flexion would be any of like your side plank stuff, where gravity's pulling you down to the side, trying to promote a side bend, and you're working to stabilize that. So generally speaking, in terms of your core strength, make sure you have at least one of those, and you'll be doing well. I've been in a calorie deficit and have not been hitting my protein. Is it necessary to hit 1 gram per pound of body weight? No, it's not necessary. That being said, the benefit, especially in a calorie deficit, would be the thermic effect of feeding, meaning as you eat something, it takes energy to digest what you had in before it could be released to the bloodstream to be used. Protein is significantly higher than carbs and fats, meaning if you eat 100 calories of protein, your body, the bloodstream is only going to basically receive like 70. Calories of the 100, because the rest of it went to just simply breaking that down and digesting. It's basically the thermic effect is how much heat or energy is lost in breaking that down. Huge benefit there. Protein is gonna lead to a lot of satiety, so you're not gonna have those like crazy feelings of intense hunger, which again, if you're in a calorie deficit, super beneficial. And then preservation of muscle while you're in a calorie deficit. Like in a calorie deficit, you're gonna be losing weight. By eating adequate protein, you're ensuring or aiding more in losing body fat while maintaining your muscle mass. I've said before, and it still is true, the more muscle mass you can have and preserve, the higher your resting metabolism is going to be, which basically means that you're going to be walking around, sleeping, burning more energy just because it requires more energy to maintain that muscle mass that you do have. Eating enough protein is going to ensure that you keep that. So is it absolutely necessary? No, definitely not, but there's a lot of reasons why it is important. I've been fighting a cold and don't have the energy to train. Is that okay? Totally. Similar to taking a break on vacation, nobody went to the Olympics off one training session. Nobody missed out on the Olympics because they waited to train the following day so they could recover. Honestly, get out for a walk, do some mobility if you feel like you want to mentally do something, but taking a day to recover and let your body get back to normal functions, absolutely an okay, and honestly an advised thing to do. Let's see. Best cardio for someone with an arthritic knee. Anything low impact, obviously, so walking's gonna be great, swimming's gonna be great. I'm 63 years old. Losing body weight all comes down to a calorie deficit, correct? Yes, it does. Is there a reason to continue to train? Absolutely. Especially as you age and lifestyle generally becomes less physical, you're now at a greater likelihood of developing osteoporosis, sarcopenia, which is basically atrophying muscles from not giving it the inputs. Training is going to allow you to be more able. You're going to be able to just unapologetically do more things. And at the end of the day, especially most of the clients I work with that are aging or on the older end of the spectrum, it's all about quality of life. Like, it's not living forever so you can just simply live together as if some vegetable. Like, you want to live a long time, but you want to be able to travel. You still want to be able to surf. You want to be able to do the things that are exciting to you. And it's the training piece is what's going to allow you that freedom. The calorie consumption is going to be the piece that really like allows you to be a certain body weight. And that's a direct reflective piece of your body composition. The training piece is what you're now allowing yourself to be able to do. And just because you're 63 doesn't mean all is lost if you haven't been training. I've seen a lot of clients make insane progress from 65, 70 plus. So you can still gain strength, you can still become more supple, you can still become way more able than you currently are. But great question. Best time to eat before training. This is a very individual thing. Largely, if you don't like to eat before training, don't eat before training. If you like to eat before training, eat before training. The individual piece is some people, they'll have like a feeling of not being, they'll be a little like full, feel a little lethargic, which is normal, following eating. So if they space that out a little bit and give themselves, eat and then an hour, 2 hours later, go train. If it's first thing in the morning, I would say following training, if you don't eat first, aim to get in some carbohydrates and some protein following training. But just because you woke up in the morning and want to start training and don't want to take the time to eat, or don't want to take the time to eat, let it digest and then train, completely okay. Our muscles store glycogen, the energy we use in our muscles, and you're going to have to not eat for a really long time for that to be affected. Does alcohol kill muscle growth possibilities? Alcohol is actually not going to really kill muscle growth possibilities. Alcohol probably absolutely will have a negative effect on sleep. I think that has a way bigger cascading effect, negative effect across your life. And in terms of body recomposition, alcohol in terms of calories adds up fairly quickly. And especially as you become various stages of potentially being inebriated, your reasoning for things goes out the window and potentially you can overdo it calorie-wise. But in terms of building muscle, a lot of research shows it's not going to be a huge detriment at all. Is training in the morning better or the evening better? Honestly, it's whatever's best for you. And you're looking for this to be a consistent thing throughout your life and not something that you're just dropping into really quick for a quick fix. So if you're someone that morning time is like a guaranteed deal, the day's not going to get away from you, train in the morning. If all your friends are training in the afternoon and you're looking forward to doing it, in the afternoon, evening, do it then. There is no magic time. Really, it's just creating the opportunity for it to be semi-consistent so you can show up and do the work. Oh, here we go. I get tired after eating. Is this normal? Yes, super normal. So our nervous system, really good question. Our nervous system has two components. We have the parasympathetic, which is your rest and digest, and we have your sympathetic, which is your fight or flight response. Our energy and those nervous system engagements between the two are going to have peaks and troughs, as they should. So as you wake up and get going with your day, you're going to have this sympathetic response, which is normal. Cortisol comes in, it gets you ready. That's what basically gets you up, gets you out of your cave from where we evolved from to get moving, to find food, shelter, all of that stuff. As you eat, that becomes rest and digest. So it's natural that then energy you'll feel the energy drop a little bit. And then as you're done digesting, you'll notice that you start to come out of that, or have life demands will pull you back out of that. But it is super normal to have these peaks and troughs as you move through the day. Last question. Any quick thoughts on deadlifting? I tend to feel it in my back. A few thoughts, a lot of thoughts. One, send me a video. So without video context, that's gonna be a big piece. With video, I can absolutely get some feedback to you. In terms of things to think about, a deadlift is a hinge. So your hips, if you think of a door and a wall, so you have the wall's not gonna move. You have the door's not gonna move, right? So those are like fixed objects. The hinge that separates the door from the wall, that allows all of the movement. So on a deadlift, you're gonna have, we'll say the wall, which is your legs, thighs, hamstrings, calves, and then you're gonna have your upper body, your torso, which is gonna be, I don't remember if I said wall or the door, but it's gonna be the other one. So you're gonna have the two components on either side of your hips. If you view this as your hips are moving, and all of the motion is coming from your hips. So as you're from the bottom position, your hips are piked back, and then as you come to stand up, you're thinking about keeping your torso locked in place, sliding your hips under your shoulders, and then as soon as you initiate to go back down, it's breaking at the hips again, hinging at that door, to then go back down. So if you think about maintaining like a really braced position through your torso, bracing your belly, engaging through your spine, and then maintaining that regardless of if you're up at the top or hinged slightly or all the way at the bottom, as long as that stays consistent, you're searching for hamstrings and hips, so the weight is well rooted through your whole foot or biased towards your heels, chances are you're gonna be doing well. That being said, if you send me a video, I'd be more than happy to provide any feedback. That's it for questions for today. Keep the questions coming. Not just deadlifting. If you have anything you want to review on technique of movements, send me a video. I'd be more than happy to send a video back with feedback. Honestly, that's the best way to get a lot of individual coaching and make sure that what you're doing is as efficient and as safe as possible. Thanks for watching.